Hey guys, Mr. H again. Hey, I'm going to do another word problem. This one is from the January 2024 Regents exam. All right, let's just jump into it. It says Jim had a bag of coins. The number of nickels represented by the letter N and the number of quarters represented by Q total 28 coins. And then it says the combined value of the coins was $4. All right, so they want us to write a system of equations. Just like I did in the previous videos, you got to determine, are we dealing with standard form? Are we going to write linear equations in standard form? Or are we going to write it in slope-intercept form? Well, they didn't really give us the slope. They just said we have N nickels and Q quarters and a total of 28 coins. And then they said the value of those coins was $4. So there's no per slope, no anything. So we're going to be using this. Now, this one's a little different because the test makers are assuming that you know how much a nickel is worth and how much a quarter is worth, which you should. But a lot of y'all sometimes struggle with that little bit of information. So let's go. So we're going to write two equations. The first one, we know the number of nickels, which is a coin, and the number of quarters, which is also a coin, is equal to 28 coins. So we're going to say N plus Q equals 28. These are all coins. That's how we know they go together. Now, the second equation, we have to come up with something that has dollars in it or money in it. So all we need to do now, how much is a nickel worth? Well, it's worth 5 cents. 0.05 times N plus how much is a quarter worth? It's worth 25 cents. So that's going to be times Q equals $4. Right? So these are our two equations. Now, they're assuming that you know the value of the coins, and you should. A nickel is 0.05 and a quarter is 0.25. So now that we have that, we can do what we've been doing in the other videos. We're just going to graph it as a relations. All right, we're going to go here. And of course, we have to use X and Y. So X is going to stand for nickels, the number of nickels. Y is going to stand for the number of quarters. So we're going to go X plus Y. X plus Y is equal to 28 because we have a total of 28 nickels and quarters. Now, I don't see that. So I'm just going to go menu 44, and I'm going to zoom out. Okay, there it is. There's my line. Boom. Now I need the second equation. So I'm going to go tab, and then I'm going to put 0.05x for nickels plus 0.25y for quarters, and that equals $4. I'm going to put 4.00 because I'm going to show you that doesn't matter. So now these are all money. This is all money. 5 cents, 25 cents, $4. Press enter. Boom. There's the equation. Now let me grab this and move it out of the way. Here is my answer. This is going to tell me the number of nickels and the number of quarters. So I'm just going to do menu 64, bam, bam. And then I'm come here. When I see the word intersection, there you have it. So that tells me that we have 15. So I'm going to write this. We have 15 nickels and we have 13 quarters. So, and that if you do that math, that should total the $4. Let's do that. 13 times 25. So 12 times, if I had 12 quarters, that would be $3. So this is going to be $3.25. 15 times 5 cents is going to be 75. So if you add those two together, it absolutely is $4. That's how I'm checking it. Now, the second part. So if you were able to do this, they wanted you to do it algebraically. We did it graphically, so we're only going to get 1 point. For these two equations, we're going to get 2 points. Now, we got one more part here. It says Jim was given an additional $3 that was made up of the equal number of nickels and quarters. So how many of each coin was he given? Now, we can go back. We can come up with two equations, and then we can solve it again. So we would say 5 cents times N plus 25 cents times Q. Now it's equal to $3, right? Now, here's the key for this one. They told us that we have an equal number of quarters and nickels. So we can say N has to be equal to Q. The number of nickels has to be equal to the number of quarters. Now, we can take this, we can graph it, and we can find the N and the Q. Now, here's another way that you could do it. You could just start using some numbers. It didn't say you had to do it algebraically. So let's say I had 5 quarters and I had 5 nickels. How much money would that be? So that would be $1.25, and that would be 25 cents. That's not enough money. That's only $1.50. So we got to jump it up. So let's jump up. Let's double it. So let's say we had 10 quarters and we had 10 nickels. How much would that be? Now it should be, if those are the right numbers, it should be $3. So 10 quarters. So that's 10 times 25 cents. So that means it's going to be $2.50. And this 10 times a nickel is 50 cents. So look, I found it. It's 10 quarters and 10 nickels. That's the answer. Because if you add these together, that's $3. That's all we did. Now, they didn't say you had to do it algebraically. They just said justify your answer. So we just actually went through and found some numbers. Now, if you want to go through and solve this, if you want me to solve it, let's solve it. Let's solve it. All right, so I'm going to come up with another equation. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to do another 2 equations. I'm going to set this equal to relation mode. And then I'm going to say 5 cents times X, that's the number of nickels, plus 25 cents times the number of quarters is equal to, this time it is $3. Boom, press enter. There's the line. We got to zoom out. So menu 44, just like we did before, zoom out. Okay, there's my line. All right, now I'm going to move this out of the way. Now let's do the second equation. So I'm going to press tab and I'm going to say X is equal to Y. X is equal to Y because we know that the number of nickels is equal to the number of quarters. All right, so here is the intersection. Let's find it. Menu 64, come here. Whoops. Let's do it again. Menu 64. We're going to come here. We got to put this in a square. I'm not sure why we have to do that, but there it is. So it says there's 10 nickels and there's 10 quarters. We already knew that, but this is confirming it. All right. So that's what you're doing. And if you get this answer, this is 2 points. Even if you do it this way, as long as you show your work, you're going to get 2 points. If you do it algebraically or graphically, that definitely works. All right. That's it, guys. I'm going to post it. Just like I said in the last video, don't just sit here and watch. Make sure you get a pencil and a paper and try to do this too. If you have a graphing calculator, that's even better. If you don't have a graphing calculator, use Desmos. But don't just sit here and passively watch it and think that that's going to help you get better. You got to actually jump in and do it yourself. All right, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to do a couple more videos, but the whole thing is you have to practice yourself. So, all right, I'm signing off.